The city of Madrid is unlike any other city in Spain. Not only is it one of the largest, but is full of so many different types of people and their cultures. My name is Spencer Hutchins, and this is the story how I changed from someone who was very ethnocentric and how I viewed the culture, more specifically the Spanish culture, into someone who started to understand the great aspects of all culture and how I can better myself from immersing in the cultures. I came to Spain thinking I knew exactly what it was going to be like living here. I'd been to Madrid once before and thought I knew everything I needed to know to be successful here. I realized within the first few hours of being here that I was very wrong and I was going to experience culture shock like I had never experienced before. My first major shock was the language. This was one I didn't think was going to be a shock at all because it wasn't something that was a big problem last time I was here. After understanding it was a huge shock and reflecting on it, I realized it was because I was with multiple people who spoke Spanish and I never really had to try my own. This would be the case with many aspects of the Spanish culture that I thought I knew. I realized I was not independent in another culture, instead just sheltered. This realization made the first week extremely difficult, and I often had times where I felt like it was not going to get any better. The trip to Sevilla helped open my mind to the many different aspects of Spanish culture I could embrace. Sevilla was the first time I started to learn about the history of Spain and its culture, such as through the visit to the bull ring. From then I began to open my mind to other aspects of Spanish culture I may enjoy. I began touring around the city of Madrid using electric bikes and learning about the history of Madrid. My culture partner was a huge help for me in breaking these boundaries as well. He took me out to many places where he enjoyed multiple types of tapas and he explained to me some of his favorite foods. After spending time in Sevilla and with my culture partner, I began to feel more comfortable here in Madrid. I then got to experience the diverse culture that lies within Madrid by visiting Lavapiés and understanding the many different types of cultures that live in Madrid. That visit was eye-opening for me in order to greater understand the city of Madrid as a whole. All these experiences early on made me no longer afraid to get out of my comfort zone, but instead embrace it. I began trying everything I could to embrace the Spanish culture, such as trying new types of foods and drinks. These included paella, patatas bravas, churros, sangria, and many more. A lot of these I found at markets, which was also a whole new concept for me. In the United States, there aren't open markets where you pick out a whole fish and they fillet it in front of you. There are farmers markets which are like these, but often those are only one day a week. I found a place like Mercado de San Miguel and Mercado de Anton, a place where I could interact with and observe Spaniards and how they went about their daily lives. These markets are also full of many of the Spanish food that we don't have in the United States. Such foods are the fruits that are more native to these regions and the ham that they slice fresh in front of you. A lot of people in the United States may see the leg of a pig hanging as unsanitary, but here it is the exact opposite. These markets became a favorite place for me to enjoy small tapas and a lively atmosphere. Having these experiences going along with the information we were learning in this class, I was quickly losing the ethnocentric view I had coming into study abroad. The more I began to travel around Spain, I got to experience the different regions and how people in those regions were different from people I have interacted with here in Madrid. I visited the smaller towns outside Madrid and in the southern part of Spain that spoke less English, but because of what I learned the first week, and since that time, I was not shocked by my inability to speak the language, but instead I surprised myself about using the nonverbal communication skills I had picked up on to help me communicate. These skills I have learned in this class over the last 6 weeks transformed me into someone who didn't really understand another culture, really cared, to someone who has begun going out of their way to visit new cultural diverse places and learn as much as I can about these cultures. I will take this knowledge into my next 2 blocks, and instead of taking a step back, I will continue to progress forward, becoming a more culturally diverse individual.